lesson number 6. And tonight is all about dinosaurs. People don't really know what to do with the dinosaurs. Well, we'll give you a few examples of what you can do with the dinosaurs. This little guy wants everybody to know he's in the 10 Commandments. You know, a lot of times people ask, where can you find dinosaurs in the Bible? The word dinosaur can't be in the Bible. Everything was vegetarian, so he took the food with him. He didn't say take some of these animals to let them eat other animals that are going to be on there. People have a lot of trouble with dinosaur idea on the ark. New rocky evidence about dinosaurs' final days. Below the shimmering turquoise water of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula lies the scene of a prehistoric mass murder. In a geologic instant, most animal and plant species perished. Drilling through hundreds of meters of rock, investigators have finally reached the footprint left by the accused. Earth's most notorious space rock impact. The dinosaur killer. Well, they can believe that way if they want to, folks, but remember the T-Rex now, they had these three-toed, bird-looking trackways and whatnot. They say this is where the birds came from, through the line of the T-Rex. They say some dinosaurs lived in trees and they were built for gliding, and they started to glide and they just started flapping this way, and next thing you know, they take off and fly, and now they're birds. Another group says no, these two-legged dinosaurs are running along on the ground and they realize they're getting chased. They're going to be lunch for something else. So they got scared and they started going, flapping like this, and they took off and fly. All of these reptiles have dinosaur names. All of them are something, Saura. The horned lizard in Texas and west or whatever is called an acanthosaura. That's what it is. It's a three-horned creature, or a two-horned creature. Many dinosaurs have the same types of features. Brush him one way, it was just smooth as glass. Silk. Brush him the other way, because those scales are there, just like the Bible says about Leviathan. They're tightly put together. Richard Owen coins that term. The first one, they put the bones together. They called it an iguanodon. But here's a skeleton, and here is what they first thought the iguanodon looked like. A sauropod is a mammal. It's not a lizard. Just like the rhinoceros is a mammal. It's not a lizard. Wait a second. God made everything. He liked it so much after he made the things, he told it to reproduce after its own kind. These guys are awesome, man. And that's what they look like today. It's the same thing. Let Sandy's huge, man. The body's like that, the tail and all is about that big. He wasn't even a mature adult when we got rid of him. He was huge, but yet, what's he gonna look like at 816 years old? What's he going to look like at 6 or 8 tons? Because he's growing every day of his life in a pre-flood situation. Not just a very broad range of cultures, it's everybody. Folks, just about everybody all across this earth has some sort of dinosaur something in their history. And not only that, they're all very similar, and they didn't have Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or email or any of that kind of stuff to get the information from one to the other. They don't even find the first bones to the late 1700s, early 1800s. How can it be depicted in the 15th century then? See, folks, the truth of the matter is man and dinosaur have always known about each other all throughout time. It was 6 days and it was everything. Man and dinosaur was all made at the same time within that same 6-day creation. There is man and dinosaur in the walls together. You can see the dinosaur over here on the bottom right, long-necked dinosaur, and you can see man carved in, same thing over here. And folks, that is fascinating when you stop and realize that. What in the world, in cave art, they go say it's tens of thousands of years old, how can there be man and dinosaur carved in the walls together at the same time? That makes no sense if dinosaurs aren't even uncovered until the late 1700s, if they died 65 million years ago. It's illogical. But if God's got it right after all, it was 6 days, everything made at the same time, man and dinosaurs have always been around together, then of course they're going to find evidence of depictions of man and dinosaur alive together. And that is exactly what is found. Well, we've been to these trackways and many of these trackways places all over this country, and they're fascinating. Oftentimes the details of the preservation of these footprints. This guy finally realized, wait a minute, this is something super special. This isn't just a rock with cool stuff in it. But the name dinosaur comes from 2 Greek words that mean terrible lizard. In strict scientific language, the group of animals he called Dinosauria. That word first heard at a meeting of scientists in Britain in 1841. That's the first time, that's when Richard Owen made up that term, dinosaur. People ask, why isn't the word dinosaur found in the Bible? Because they know all this stuff was laid down with water. And a very important point when you realize the burial of them and trackways. Everybody walks in soft mud, but our footprints don't turn to stone. So the fact that these footprints are found as stone verifies whatever took place rapidly. Beautifully preserved dinosaur footprints. They don't really have a mechanism for that. Some of these trackways are beautifully preserved. 5,000 dinosaur footprints in this one section. So where can I see bones in the rock still? First complete dinosaur skeleton. Hopefully you can see the picture there. Whole bunch of ropes tying this, holding this thing up together. They adjusted the ropes to put the critter back together. Remember the Bible talks about this earth is flooded and is racing around and around, and then the mountains arose. Now the water can't cross there anymore, so you'd have jumbled up swirling eddies and all this kind of mess. They're jumbled, they're mangled, they're tangled, and they're big bones off. You put plaster around this, you dig around, you put plaster all around this thing, you skirt it, and then you can pull the whole thing up and get it in the lab, peel all that stuff off and get the bone. And sometimes they break, sometimes they're very brittle, sometimes they just come out really, really awesome. At the Great Plains Museum, they have Leonardo. He is the most complete mummified dinosaur in existence. All over out west especially. Out east also and south. I mean, there are other places too. But you get out west, there are just multiple places where you just think from the outside, it's not worth stopping. But when you go inside, it's like, oh my, I'm glad I didn't miss this. You know, so if you ever get a chance, you need to see it. We've been to the Egg Mountain where Jack Horner made his famous discovery of all these various eggs. They found eggs in perfect alignment, the way that just beautiful states of preservation. The only ones with a mechanism as Christians to explain what it is that took place. These guys are looking at a fossil and trying to figure out how this formed. But we've got the account from thousands of years ago that there was this big flood that buried everything rapidly, and the heat from the fountains of the Great Deep broke up, and now we can look out and see the evidence that confirms what it says. Nothing they have in a slow, gradual process matches to what the evidence shows. They don't have explanations. Where can I dig dinosaur bones? Well, all kinds of places, but we've been on a dig out in Montana. I highly recommend it if you get out that way. Glendive area, Montana. Dug up a Triceratops, nice Triceratops bone. We've dug up some T-Rex bones. Really cool stuff. It's fun to do. Yeah, they're just pieces and portions and all that stuff. But I'll tell you, it is just fun to do. You get out there and it's 105 degrees or 108 degrees and get out there and take your water bottle, your chisel and your hammer and pick and brush and get out there and get dirty and get them. It was 6 days, folks, and it was everything just the way God declares it to be. We are the ones with the evidence to show what God wrote thousands of years ago really is true.